Hello, everyone, and it's good to be here with you all. I decided on this day to to make a contribution. Connect. Excuse me one moment, you guys that are on YouTube. For some reason, my account has once again been locked by Facebook. Get the code. Second. 963015963. Next. Yes, next. There's to remove, nothing. Don't remove anything. Oh, they're forcing me to change the password. They did this once before. All right. Okay. Let's recent technology. Back to Facebook. Update. I'm sorry about that. Really quite amazing that this. See if you can do it on again. I'm still trying. For some reason, it doesn't like it. There we go. I'm back. I appear to be back online. Okay. Well, I'm not. Well, I'm one. Let's see. Facebook. I guess I am. Alrighty. I'm sorry about that little interruption. As I was saying, I was kind of inspired to do a little something in honor of World Religion Day, which is today. Not really all that well known. I didn't really know about it till recently. And so I wanted to do a little meditation, maybe play a small part in bringing the world closer together and allowing the differences between us all to fall away. I'll speak a little later after the meditation about the non-dual perspective uh, of religion and the relationship between beings. And I decided to call this our shared being because at the heart of us all lies is a singularity, a single essential essence that is common to all of us, no matter what appears on the surface. So as you're arriving, I invite you all to simply close your eyes and to let your attention sink inside and to consciously decide to sink into your heart, the place where all real meditation and prayer originates and ultimately culminates. And just see if you can let go of everything for a moment. All religions have in their origin, no matter how they appear now, they all originated with an essential understanding of the nature of being. Some have called it Buddha nature, some have called it God, some have called it the absolute, some have called it consciousness, some have called it the I am. Our names are legion, but at the essence of all religious experience is the experience of this essential. And that's what I'd like us to all experience today. And as we start moving into the heart, the center of our being, the place of infinite, non-preferential love, let's offer a small prayer. Prayer is nothing but a sincere desire, a desire for something greater than ourselves. So let's just offer up our prayer to whatever ultimate authority you want to recognize. That all beings know the end of suffering, and that we come to a sense of unity, mutual love, and equality over all the world. Prayers don't have to be elaborate or ornate. Even a prayer offered in silence that is full of our heartfelt desire qualifies. In fact, the more desire and purity there is, and the less words there are, the more powerful it is. And in this place of pure love, I want you to turn your attention towards yourself. That same desire, that same prayer for unity and peace and cooperation. Direct that towards your own inner being, that there may be a healing of all wounds and ills and traumas, and that you may know the end of conflict, the end of inner disagreement, and thus no peace. Again, it just takes the intention, the desire. And now just let go as best you can all the ideas you have about how things should be, how people should be, about what is right and wrong, what is the right way to live, the wrong way to live, what should be believed, what shouldn't be believed. Set all of your opinions aside in the interest of fostering the true spirit of all religion, which is the unity that ends suffering and the love that unites us. And notice that in that, to the degree that you are able to do that, that you enter into a shared space. You might say you've entered into a church, a temple, a mosque, a sangha. And in this church or temple or mosque, there's a unity of intention and desire, a single voice of prayer. And now as you sink more deeply into your heart, let go of even that intention and desire. For to find God, Buddha nature, Christ consciousness, the I am, we must take a step away from that which is not essential. If we want to find the essence of anything, we must remove ourselves from that which is not essential, not essentially what I am. Even our deeply held prayer is here 1 minute and gone the next. It comes and it goes, and yet you remain aware of it coming and going. So as significant and important as it is, it's not essentially you. This is true of all our thoughts. They come very quickly and leave very quickly. They form patterns and regularities, so they seem to be repetitive, but the thoughts themselves are very fleeting. Here 1 moment, gone the next. And yet here you are. You're watching them come and go. Sometimes getting embroiled in them, carried away by the story. Other times able to sit back and watch. But in either case, they come and they go, and you do not. Which means, clearly, that they are essentially not you. You are something essentially other than thought. This is true for all of our emotions as well. They may be very mild and pleasant. They may be very intense and unpleasant. But looking upon any emotion you have, even one you are having right now, you just watch it. It never is static. It is always moving. Grows in intensity, lessens in intensity. Moves through the body. Sometimes completely disappears. Sometimes your attention just moves away from it. It is always in flux. And it is always you who is watching this flux. So emotions, as marvelous and as demanding as they are not essentially what you are. And take your body, the sensations that we experience, this constant flow of information of all different kinds through our 5 senses, and maybe even through our 6th sense of more extrasensory perception. And yet noticing that that too is never fixed, never static. The feelings are more of a vibration, constantly replenishing themselves. And like emotions, they grow in intensity and they weaken in intensity. They come and they go. But you do not. So your sensations, in fact, the whole body, is not essentially what you are. So now turn your attention away from everything that is known or experienced and put it on the knowing itself. Just the act, the fact, the unchanging fact of knowing, the knowingness in which a thought or a feeling or a sensation appears. None of the triad of experience could be experienced at all were there not something there knowing it. Thoughts do not think themselves. Emotions do not feel themselves. Sensations do not feel themselves. There is another element, another dimension, absolutely essential to this knowing and feeling, without which there would be no experience. Now, this knowingness cannot really be conceived of. Any conception would be a thought that would be known. So the knowingness itself is not something we can imagine or picture. And yet, you're aware of it. You are aware of being aware. It is so subtle, so unintrusive, so changeless, constant, that we barely notice it. And turn your attention to that as best you can. Just the fact that you are aware, that you know that you are, and that knowing that you are would be there even if thought stopped. Just like it's there as one thought starts and stops, and another one starts and stops. If thought just stopped, you would be aware of it, of its absence. If emotions just suddenly stilled, you would be aware of the stillness, and that the sensations all completely evaporated, as if you simply didn't have a body at all. You would still know it. That knowingness, that sense, I am, that in religious terms is called God. This knowingness is the essential experience that gave birth to all religions. It's the experience of the sages and the saints, the prophets. And now notice one more thing as you move away from thought and emotion and sensation and are just aware of the knowingness. Is that knowingness? Could that knowingness be different for anyone else who does the same thing? Anyone here, anywhere in the world who turned inward and made this inner trek beyond experience to the essence of the experiencer, with that sense of knowing be any different. This is our shared being. This is the God that is immanent in all beings, transcendent of all form, yet permeating and creating all form. Our shared being is the being, with a capital B. The divine being, the God being, is not a being, but being itself. That is the being of every human being, every animal, every fish, every object, every grain of sand, every atom, every quark. It is the being of all that appears, the source and substance of all that appears, the transcendent and the immanent in one. The religious practice that arises from this simple intuitive knowing is simply the practice of consciously, intentionally aligning our thoughts and our feelings and our actions and our beliefs into harmony with this essential awareness of our shared being. Even those who seem to not have any notion of this whatsoever and do horrendous things, at the essence, there is this same unchanging shared being. All are our brothers and sisters. Every being of every kind. Wherever the eye lands, it sees the face of God, as the Sufis say. The one being of us all. And take a nice deep breath. Move your body a little bit, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes. The non-dual perspective seems kind of philosophical out there somewhere. It seems like it's kind of a minor thread, but in my experience, having looked at many, many different religious traditions, they have all started with this essential insight, this essential seeing of the shared being, that God as other was a concept, and that sense of other obscured and veiled from one's every moment experience the shared being that is our actual being. Simply the idea of some divine other, which distracts us, constantly looking outward, and that manifests itself in looking to find happiness and security and prosperity and love outside ourselves, because that's where God is. But if God is not out there, that is God, the being of all things, is here. well, then there's no need to look out there for anything. That everything you were seeking is already here. What you are looking for is where you are looking from, is how St. Francis of Assisi, a great Christian mystic, put it. The shared being, as Meister Eckhart put it, that the essence of all being, the essence of the soul, the substance, that of which even the soul is made of, is the same substance of which God is made of. And so God and the soul are one and beyond. The deep intention of religion is to make our way back from this constant projecting outwards of our happiness, our life, our goodness, our prosperity, our fun, everything, and to consistently, intentionally bring it back to where God truly exists, right here, right in the heart of you. And not just in the heart of you, for there would still be two there. But you disappear into that heart until there is nothing left but God, Buddha nature, Christ consciousness, the absolute, the I am, the one I am. So non-duality is not at odds with religion. It's not at odds with science. It's not at odds with anything. It is simply this realization, that the idea that there is more than one, that there are many separate, conflicting, even in hateful relationships, is an illusion of the mind. It is samsara. It is a projection of the mind and is being projected onto the essential, absolute oneness of all being. And we do not need to become one. We simply need to remove everything that says we are not. So, on that note, folks, I'd like to wish you all a very happy World Religion Day. To take some time today to ponder this overwhelmingly great human endeavor that has been going on for thousands and thousands of years. The religious journey to find the true meaning of life and the true reason for being. And while it has, in its confusion and infancy, created many difficulties and divisions, at the heart of it is this desire to find that singularity, that one place from which it has all emerged, and to become one with that. All right. Maybe I'll see many of you later on satsang. Love to you all. Namaste.